morning, students. Am I audible, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Whether the screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. We'll wait for, I think it's 9:26. We'll wait for 4 minutes and then we will start. Good morning, all. We'll wait for last 1 or 2 minutes and then we will start problem solving session today. Okay. And then we will continue with the logic today. Okay. So I hope everyone is revising whatever they have written in a notebook. Okay. Just take your time for 1 or 2 minutes to revise the things. Okay. We are going to solve the problems. Mm. Okay. Everyone, please mute yourself. Okay. So students, good morning all. Quickly we will revise. I hope the screen is visible, all of you. Yes? Yes, student, screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So we will revise what we had done last time. We had a gap, right? So we need to revise what we had done so that you will be able to solve the next problem. So basically, students, we have seen the principle of mutual inclusion and exclusion. Okay. So principle of inclusion and exclusion is what? Basically, we are finding out the cardinality of A union B union C, right? And how we are going to find it out? Cardinality of A plus cardinality of B plus cardinality of C minus cardinality of A intersection B minus cardinality of A intersection C minus cardinality of B intersection C plus cardinality of A intersection B intersection C. Okay, I hope you are remembering this formula. Yes or no, student? Yes, student?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So in the last lecture, we had solved one problem, okay, where we were finding out the number divisible by 3, the number divisible by 5, the number divisible by 11. Okay. So basically, we have got the cardinality of A, which is divisible by 3, 500 by 3. So out of 1 to 500, we have got 500 by 3 as 166. Then cardinality of B, we have got as 100. Cardinality C, we have got as 45. Okay. So how we have got this cardinality? By taking total integers, total number divided by the number which is divisible. So 500 by 3, cardinality of A, 500 by 5, cardinality of B, 500 by 11, cardinality of C. In that way, we have got those cardinality, right? After that, we have got the cardinality of A intersection B. We have to go stepwise. According to the principle of inclusion and exclusion, we have got cardinality of A, B, C. Now we have to find it out cardinality of A intersection B, cardinality of A intersection C, and cardinality of B intersection C. Now, how we have got the cardinality of A intersection B? Cardinality of A intersection B is the numbers, those are divisible by 3 and 5, right? So what we did? We have 500 divided by 3 into 5. So we divided 500 by 3 into 5. So 500 divided by 15, we have got 33 result, right? A intersection C means what? Divisible by 3 and 11. So 500 divided by 3 into 11. We have got 15. Similarly, B intersection we have got B intersection C we have got as 9. That is divisible by 11 and 5. And finally, we had A intersection B intersection C cardinality. That is divisible by 3, 5, and 11. Right? After that, after getting all those cardinalities, simply we have put the values, whatever we have got it, in into the equation of principle of inclusion exclusion. So cardinality of A union B union C is equal to cardinality of A plus cardinality of B plus cardinality of C minus cardinality of intersection B minus cardinality of A intersection C minus cardinality of B intersection C plus cardinality of A intersection B intersection C. I hope everyone has written whatever I am revising. Okay, student? Yes, everyone is having all those stuff in a notebook. Yes,
Yes,
student?
ma'am.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So we have put all those values into the principle of inclusion exclusion. After putting those values, we have got answer as 267. Okay. Then we have got one diagram, Venn diagram. So we have drawn one Venn diagram, okay, where we have put each and every value of the region, okay, one by one. Initially, we have put three. Three is what? Cardinality of A intersection B intersection C. Okay. Then we have started the finding out the remaining region by subtracting the cardinality of intersection B with the A intersection B intersection C. And finally, we have got the individual region that is 121, 61, and 24. How we have got those? Because we have got the region 33 and 12 for the state A, and we have subtracted the addition of 33 and 12 from the cardinality of A, and we have got 121. Okay, for B, we have got 61. For C, we have got 24. Okay, if you are having everything in your notebook, you are able to recall and revisit. Okay, and in this way, we have got the solution for the first problem. Okay, can we go for the next problem, student? Are you able to do the next problem now? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now see this. The everyone observe what I have written over here. Out of integers 1 to 1000, how many are not divisible by 3, nor by 5, nor by 7? What is the first step that I have to do, student? Anyone? Okay, you can
Total
put it in
minus
a chat box. Okay,
total divided by 3.
please, everyone need to put it in a chat box. So first we have to find it out the cardinality of A, cardinality of B, cardinality of C, right? After that, now what they have asked is how many are not divisible by 3, nor by 5, and nor by 7. So how we can go, student? So step by step, we will be doing all the things. Finally, what we have to do, anyone, just put it in a chat box. How we can go with? Okay, we'll go step by step first. Okay. Okay. So what would be the answer? First, A. What you will be writing? A. A is set of integers divisible by 3, right? Okay. B, set of integer divisible by 5. Divisible by 5, right? And C would be set of integer divisible by 7. Okay. Now tell me what, just find it out the cardinality of A and tell me what is the cardinality of A you have got. Now the numbers are 1 to 1000. Quickly tell me what would be the cardinality of A, what would be the cardinality of B, and what would be the cardinality of C. The same way you have to do, student. Quickly. Chalo, fast. I need answer in a chat box. I hope everyone is getting it. Yes or no? Yeah. A is 333. Perfect. What about others? Quickly put it, everyone. Yeah, I want answer 333 from everyone. Okay. So A is 333, B is 200, and C is 142. Let us check for other students. Yeah. Hmm? Ishwar. Okay. Then C is 142. Very good. Rohan, good. Very good. C is 142. Okay, Pranjal, Pratiksha, good. Okay, perfect. So everyone is getting this, right? So should I put A is 1000 divided by 3 is 333. That is 1000 divided by 5 is 200. 1000 divided by 7 is 142. Okay. Now, what do you have to do, student? You have to find it out A intersection B cardinality, A intersection C and B intersection C cardinality along with A intersection B intersection C cardinality. Go for it. And get the second question. Okay. So cardinality of what is cardinality of A intersection B? Tell me what is cardinality of A intersection C and what is cardinality of B intersection C, A intersection B intersection C. I think I have got answer here. Yes, perfect. Okay. So cardinality of A intersection B is 66. Very good. Arya, Mangesh, Purnesh. Okay. A intersection C is, let me check. A intersection C is 47 and B intersection C is 28 and A intersection B intersection C. What is a cardinality of intersection B intersection C? Anyone has got it? Very good, Mangesh. What about others? Pranjal, very good. I hope everyone is finding it out. Okay? You have to do it, student. Okay? Until and unless you are not doing it, you will not get confidence. So you have to do it. Finally, 9. Very good. Okay, now everything is done. Now, what should be the next step, student?
Finding out complement.
Directly complement. After this, what we have to do? Use principle of inclusion and exclusion. Right? So, what is the formula for inclusion and exclusion? A union B union C is equal to cardinality of A plus cardinality of B plus cardinality of C minus A intersection B cardinality. Sorry, it is A intersection B. Okay. Then minus A intersection C minus B intersection C. Okay. And then plus A intersection B intersection C. Right? Okay. Done. Now tell me what is the cardinality of A union B union C? What you have got? Okay, let me check. Anyone has got it? Yeah. Just calculate it and tell me what would be the cardinality of A union B union C. Very good. Very good. Perfect. Arya, Nisarga, Jasmine. Very good. What about others? Quickly put it the values. Yeah. Yes. Very good. Raj, Akanksha. Very good. So the value is 543. I hope everyone is getting. Resham, Shay, okay. Sanika, Purnesh, Mangesh, Muskan. Okay. Very good. Now, what should be the next step, student? Just type it in a chat box. What should be the next step that we have to do? Now, what they have asked is they have asked that how many integers are there which are not divisible by 3, nor by 5, nor by 7. So basically, we have to find it out cardinality of A union B union C bar, whole bar, right? So how do I find it out? Anyone? Yes, perfect. U minus 543. So what is U here? In this case, the U is 1000 minus. We have got cardinality of A union B union C is 543. So what would be the final answer that we will get is 457. I hope everyone has got 457 as answer. Perfect. Very good. Now you are getting the confidence to solve the problem based on principle of inclusion and exclusion. If you are solving with your own, definitely it is going to help you, student. Perfect. Very good. Okay. Can we go for the last problem? Okay. Okay, student. Are you ready? Should we go for the next problem? Everyone is done? Please type yes, no. Quickly. Should we go for the next problem? Yes. Okay. That. Now I'll show you the another window. Okay. Hmm. Whether you are able to see, student? Yes. Okay. Now see this problem, student. Among 100 students, okay, 32 study mathematics, 20 study physics, 45 study biology, 15 study mathematics and biology, 7 study mathematics and physics, 10 study physics and biology, 30 do not study any of the three subjects. Find the number of students studying all the three subjects. Find the number of students studying exactly one of the three subjects. Now, this is a problem statement that they have given. Okay. Now, you have to solve the first one. Find the number of students studying all three subjects. So, before going for the problem solving, student, what you have to remember is whatever is given, okay, you have to put it on a paper in a proper manner. Okay, what is given? 100 students. Okay, so universal set we have got. What is the next thing they have given is 30 to study mathematics. So you will have a set, okay, which will represent the mathematics students studying mathematics. Next set, the students studying physics, then biology, right? So A, you will have 32, B, you will have 20, C, you will have 45. Okay, then after that, what they have said, 15 study mathematics and biology. So what is that, student? Mathematics and biology means, suppose I'm putting M as mathematics set, P as physics set, and B as biology set. It would be easier if I'm putting M, P, and B. So 15 study mathematics and biology means what? M intersection B is 15 they have given. M intersection P 7 they have given. P intersection B 10 they have given. And 30 do not study any of the three subject. Okay. So 30. What that 30 means mathematically, how you will show it, student? Anyone? Anyone? So I will write and you will come to know what it is. Okay. So let me for the next page. I hope you have written all the given values. Should I switch the should I switch the window, student? Yeah, you have written all the all the given values. Yes. Should I
Yes,
switch the
ma'am.
window? Yes, student.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What is given that you have to write first, student? So given is the given is u. Sorry, u is 100. Okay. Then m is 32. Okay. Then p is 20 and b is 45. M intersection b they have given as 15. M intersection p they have given as 7. P intersection b they have given as 10. Now, how do I write 30 mathematically? I think I have got answer in chat box. Okay, A union. Okay, A union, B union, C bar. Perfect. Very good. Okay. Whoever is giving answer is correct. Very good. I'm happy. Okay. So basically, students, okay, 30 do not study any of the three subjects. Do not study any of the three subjects means what? P intersection B intersection P intersection B intersection M. Okay. Do not study means what? Bar will be giving, and that would be your 30. Okay. So M intersection. So sorry. M not intersection. Huh? We will have union here. So M union P union B bar is equal to 30. Do not study, okay? Do not study any subject, okay? So M union P union B bar would be 30 students. Okay, so this thing is important that you need to analyze over here. What they have asked for is 30 students do not study any of the three subjects, okay? So 30 students, they do not study any of the three subjects. So M union P union B bar would be 30 in this case, student. Okay, whether M, yes. Okay, now how do I find it out? M union P union B. Now we have got this value, right? M union P union B bar is equal to 30. Can I get M union P union B over here? What would be the value of M union P union B? M union cardinality would be 100 minus 30, which will be equal to 70. Now I have got all the values, right? Now what I have to find it out is, I have to find it out the number of students studying all the three subjects. Okay. Now which mathematical equation I need to find it out here, student? Can anyone give me answer of this? Yes. Okay. So what should be the first step? Yes, perfect. M intersection P intersection B, we need to find it out. Okay. So how do I find it out? M intersection P intersection B using the principle of inclusion and exclusion. So please substitute the values, whatever we have got, and tell me what is cardinality of M intersection P intersection B. Everyone. Yes, 544. Very good, Sanjit. Okay, excellent. Okay, so 5 you have got. Very good. Yes. Okay. And the next one is 48. Okay, 48. What is the answer? 48. Find the number of students studying exactly one of the three subjects. How you're going to analyze it? Okay, I'll draw the diagram. Rest of the student, please listen. I hope M intersection P intersection D is equal to 5. Everyone has got, right? Only you have to substitute the values that we have got it, okay? In a principle of inclusion and exclusion. Now we will solve the next thing. Okay, so what I'll do is, I will draw the diagram. This is M. The diagram is very important, student. With the help of diagram only, quickly you can say the answer. Okay, so this is M, this is P, and this is B. Now M intersection P intersection B we have got as 5. Okay, by simply putting the value. Okay, I'll write it here. M union P union B is equal to M plus P plus B minus M intersection P minus M intersection B minus P intersection B plus M intersection P intersection B. Okay, it is plus M intersection P intersection B. Okay, so I have written like this. Now what I have to do is, I have to find it out M intersection. Okay, so how do I find it out? What I'll do? Okay, I'll substitute M, P, B, all these values, right? Okay, and M union P union B value also we are having, that is 70. So 70 minus addition of these stuff I'll do, and I'll get the value as 5, right? Okay, so this value I have to get. So in order to get this value, this 70 minus all this stuff I'll do. 70 minus M in cardinality of M minus cardinality of P minus cardinality of B plus cardinality of M union M intersection P, okay, plus cardinality of M intersection B plus cardinality of P intersection B. So this way I will go and I'll find out the value 5. 5 I have written over here. Now what is the cardinality of M intersection P? The cardinality of M intersection P is 7. So I have got 2 over here. This cardinality is 15. So I have got 10 over here. This cardinality is 10. So I have got 5 over here, right? Now cardinality of M is 32. So 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 10 is 17. So I have to get 15 over here. Okay. Here 5 plus 5, 10 and 12. Cardinality of P is 20. So I have to get 8 over here. So this is 5 plus 5, 10 plus 10 is 20. And cardinality of B is 45. So it has to be 25. Right? Now what they have asked is, second question they have asked is, find the number of students studying exactly one of the 3 subjects. So exactly one of the 3 subject means this portion we will have, this portion we will have, and this portion we will have, student, right? So in order to get exactly one subject, what we will do? We will combine all these values. 15 plus 8 plus 25. 15 plus 8 plus 25, and which is equal to 48. So the first answer is 5 and the second answer is 48. I hope everyone has got this. Yes, student? Quickly say yes or no. Everyone has got it? Everyone has got the same answer? Quickly say yes or no, student. Yes. Perfect. From every student, I want this. Very good. Okay. So once you will get the logic and once you will get how to analyze the problem by checking out the Venn diagram region, okay, any problem if I'll give you, you will be able to solve it confidently, student. Okay. So after this, I'll be giving you assignment, okay, on a Google Classroom today or tomorrow, and you'll be solving it. Okay. Now we will go for the logic. Okay. Now I hope everyone is confident to solve the problem based on principle of inclusion and exclusion. Okay. Very good. Now we will go for the next portion, that is logic. Logic. Okay. Now, mathematical logic we will start with. Now here we will understand, student, what do you mean by proposition? Okay. What do you mean by logical connectivity? So I'll write proposition. Okay. Then we will see logical connectivity. Okay. And then we will solve some problems. We will solve some truth tables. Okay. And we'll try to convert the English statement into its symbolic form. Okay. So very basic we will start today. And in the next lecture, we'll be solving the problem based on the equivalence and all. Okay. So what is proposition, student? The proposition, we can call it as a statement, is a declarative sentence which is either true or false. The proposition, if I want to define, it is a statement, is a declarative sentence which is either true or false. Okay. So declarative sentence is very important word over here, student. Okay. Declarative means what? That statement should give something as a value, either true or false. If that statement you will have, then that time you will say that it is a proposition. Okay. So whenever we will call the values, okay, true or false, how do I represent the value true or false for the given statement? So true value is always denoted by capital T or the symbol 1. Okay, and false value is always denoted by capital F or the symbol 0. I'll give you an example. India is a country. Whether it is a proposition, yes, because it is a declarative sentence and which is showing the value, which is giving us the value that is true. India is a country. Value is true. Okay, Pune is a city. Value is true. Okay, there are 12 months in a year. The value is true. And if I'm writing 2 plus 5 is equal to 9. Okay, whether it is a proposition, student, whether it is a proposition, 2 plus 5 is equal to 9, I'm writing. Whether it is a proposition, anyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, it is a proposition because it is giving me value as false. Okay, so any statement, okay, declarative statement is what? It is a declarative sentence which is giving me value either true or false. Then that time, this stuff I can call it as a proposition. So 2 plus 5 is equal to 9 is a proposition which is giving me value as a false value. If I'm writing India is a country, it is a proposition because it is going to give me value as a true because India is a country. Okay. Now, what could be the example which are not proposition then? Okay, if I'm asking you, if I'm asking you, what is your name? Okay, what is your roll number? Whether this sentence is giving me true or false value? No. Okay, they do not declare any definite truth or false value, true or false value. So I can say that if I'm asking what is your name, what is your roll number, this sentence is not a statement, student. Okay. What is your name? Okay. So this sentence is not a statement. Why it is not a statement? Because this sentence is not providing value, definite value that is true or false value. Okay. So this is how you are going to analyze. This is how you are going to analyze the given statement. The given sentence is a statement or not. The given sentence is proposition or not. So proposition. Proposition is a statement, okay, which contain the declarative sentence giving value true or false. Okay. If I'm saying please wait, if I'm saying what are you are, if I'm asking what you are doing, if I'm saying wish you a happy journey, these are not statement because these statements are not going to give us the values true or false. Okay. Now we will move to the logical connectivity, student. Let me change this. Okay. So, logical connectivity. Whenever we will talk about logical connectivity, first we'll have negation. Okay, negation means what, student? Not. And the symbol is you can use this symbol or you can use this symbol. Okay, any symbol you can use for the negation. Negation is also known as not and it is represented by this. The second is conjunction. So conjunction, what we are using and the symbol is this, right? And the third is disjunction. Okay, we are representing with or and the symbol is this. Okay, I hope you're knowing all these terms. Okay, negation, conjunction, and disjunction. Okay, so if we'll talk about negation, okay, if I'm saying that suppose I'm having a sentence P where Pune is a city. Okay, so P is a statement I'm having, and that statement is containing the sentence as Pune is a city. If I want to have a negation of P, how do I write it? Pune is not a city. Okay. So negation means not. Okay. Then conjunction, if you'll see the conjunction. Okay. With the truth table, how you are going to write it down? Suppose P, I'm having true and false values. So negation P, how do I go? How do I write it? Negation P, true, I'll write as false. For false, negation would be true. Okay, so this is what the simple truth table for negation. Okay, now we will go for next one, that is conjunction. Conjunction. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So suppose I'm having P. Okay, the simple statement. It is raining. It is raining. Okay, and Q, I'm in class. How do I represent conjunction over here? What is the symbol? P and Q. So P and Q, how do I represent it with a sentence? P and Q is raining and I am in class. Likewise, I'm going to write it. Okay. So this symbol is conjunction symbol and I'm going to use and word for it. Okay. So what is the truth table for this? P, Q, P and Q. I hope everyone is writing the truth table of each and every connectivity I'm just mentioning here. Even though it is simpler, whenever you will solve the problem, okay, next lecture, you will have a reference for all these tables because after this, we will have conditional statement, we will have biconditional statement, and there would be confusion. So better to write it in a notebook. Okay, so I hope everyone is writing it. Okay, so PQ, T, T, F, F, true, true, false, false. Okay, Q, true, false, true, false. In the same way, we are writing everywhere. Okay, you can follow this sequence or you can have FFTT and accordingly FTFT. Okay, with your convenience, you can have that. P and Q for ANDing. True, true. Only for true values, I'm going to get the true result. Okay, if the both values are true, then and then only I'm getting the result as true. Otherwise, for all combination, I will have false. So true, false, 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 true, false, 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 false. Okay. So this is what the truth table for P and Q. Okay. I hope everyone is knowing this. Okay. We are revising it quickly. Now go for, now we will go for disjunction. Disjunction. Okay. Disjunction. How we are putting disjunction with the help of this symbol, right? P or Q. So P, suppose I will study, and Q, I will study math, suppose I will fail. Okay. So how do I represent this? P or Q? P or Q I'll represent as I will study maths or I will fail. Okay. So symbolically and sentence wise, you'll be writing like this. And what would be the truth table for this? P, Q, P or Q. Okay. So true, true, false, false, true, false, true, false. Okay. So P or Q. When you are getting true, P or Q. So here only for false and false, we are getting false. Otherwise, for all combination, we are getting true. So true, 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 false, true, false, true, true. Only for false, false, we are getting false. For disjunction, that is OR. So this is a simple table for disjunction. Okay. I hope everyone has got it. Done. Now we will solve, we will construct a simple table. Okay. Okay. Any problem in this, student? Any problem in this? Say yes or no. Say something. Acknowledge.
No, ma'am.
No,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Now we will solve simple table. Okay, if I'll ask you to find it out P and negation P, quickly tell me what would be the answer of this. P, negation P you will have, then P and negation P, right? So P, true and false. False and true. Now P and negation P. So true, false is false. False, true is false. Likewise, you will find it out. Suppose I'll ask you P or negation of Q. Okay. So how do I solve it? PQ. Okay. One by step you have to solve. P and Q you have done. Now negation Q you have to find it out. So negation Q you will be writing, and finally you will be writing P or negation Q. So again I'll have true, false, false, right? Then true, false, true, false. Negation of Q. What is the negation of Q? I'll have false, true, false, true. And P or negation of Q. So true, false is true, right? Then true, true is true. Then false, false is false. And false, true is true because it is or. Yes, correct? Can you go for the next one, student? Now find it out for P or Q or negation P quickly and tell me the truth values of this. Chalo, quickly do it, everyone. So you can have a comma, you can use comma for the truth values. On the chat box, you have to type it. I hope everyone has got it. P or Q or negation P. Or Q or negation P. Okay. Everyone is done? Tell me quickly, what are the truth values you have got it? So P, Q you will be writing here, right? Then you will have P or Q. Okay. So before to it, you will have P, Q. Before to it, you will have negation P. Then you will have P or Q. And finally, you will have P or Q negation P, right? Final. Okay, done? Yes, tautology. Perfect. Okay, so I hope everyone has got true values for all those stuff. Okay, so T, T, F, F, T, F, T, F, right? Negation P would be F, F, T, T. P or Q would be T, 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 F, right? Yes. And then P or Q or negation P it is. P or Q negation P it is. So P or Q negation T. So true, false, true. True, false, true. Okay. True, true, true. And false, true, true. So all true values you are getting. I hope everyone has got this. Yes.
Ma'am,
Okay.
can you explain?
Perfect. Yes. Hello.
Can you explain one?
Ev- Any problem in this, student? Anyone is having any problem in this? Anyone is having any problem in this? Everyone is getting? Should we go for the conditional statement? Say something. Yes or no? Should we continue with the conditional statement? Everyone is getting this? Yes. Okay. Done.
Ma'am, can you explain?
Okay. This one. This one again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. I'll do it again. Okay. Just listen, everyone. I'll do it again. What they have asked for is P or Q. Okay. then or negation P. So what you have to do, student? Simply you have to write P and Q first. Now, what are the terms will be requiring while solving the truth table? That we need to find it out. So this term will be requiring yes. Okay. After that, this term will be requiring. Okay. So negation P I will write. Okay. Then P or Q I will write. Once I'll get negation P and P or Q, then I'll be able to find it out P or Q or negation P. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear? So this step is very much important, student. You have to find it out the terms and you have to solve it accordingly. Everyone is clear with this step? Say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So for P, I'll writing true, true, false, false. Okay. For Q, I'll write true, false, true, false. Okay. The same sequence. If you are following this sequence now, I'm just recommending you. Please do not change sequence in every problem. If you are sticking with this sequence, please continue this sequence for all the problems of logic. Do not change this sequence. First true, true, false, false, then true, false, true, false. Okay. Now negation P is false, false. True negation is false. Okay. Negation P. True negation is false. Then false negation is true. And false negation is true. Right? So this is negation P. Okay. So true, true, false, 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 true, true. P or Q. What is a P or Q? P or Q is what? On P or Q only for false, false, we will have false. Otherwise, we will have true, right? So true, 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 false, true, false, true, true, false, false, false. Okay, it is ORing. So only for false, false, I will have false. Okay, now I have got P or Q. Now I have got negation P, right? So what I have to do? I have to have ORing of these two. What is they have given? What we have to find it out? ORing of these two. So false true is true. This is false, right? This is true. So false true ORing is true. This is false. This is true. What is the ORing of false true? Is true. This is true. This is true. So ORing of true true is true. This is true and this is false. ORing of true false is true. So all the values I'm getting as true. Have you understood it, student? Say something.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So in this way only you have to solve it. Okay, go step by step, student. Don't be in a hurry. Okay, find it out the terms, analyze the term, put it those terms in front of P and Q. Go step by step, and finally you will have your answer. So to solve this, okay, I'll recommend you instead of this you can have like if you don't want to write all the term, you can have this term as a 1, you can have this term as a 2, and simply you can put 1 or 2, so you will not have a confusion and you will have a final values. This way also you can go. Okay, if you are confused with all the terms. Okay, so put term 1 as negation P, put term 2 as P or Q, put the final term as 1 or 2 instead of putting P and Q, then again ORing negation of. So it will be easier to analyze. I hope you have understood it, student. Okay. So quickly we'll go for the conditional and biconditional statement truth table. Okay. Okay. So conditional statement. So what do you mean by conditional statement, student? Okay, in programming also, you are knowing what do you mean by conditional statement. Conditional if this, then that, likewise. Okay, so conditional statement is read as if P, then Q, or P implies Q. So this is very important, student. Okay. If P, then Q, or you can use P implies Q for the conditional statement. And how do you represent it mathematically? It is P the Q. Okay. So P to the Q is what? Conditional statement. If P, then Q. And with arrow, you'll be representing it. Okay. Then what would be the truth table of this, student? P, Q, P to the Q. Okay. Again, true, true, false, false, true, false, true, false, right? Now, the truth table for P to the Q is false when P is true and Q is false. Otherwise, other cases, it would be true only. So you have to remember if P is true and Q is false, that time you will have a false value. Okay. Now see this. True, true, true. I will have true, false. I will have a false value. So this is very important. Huh? Only for this condition you will have a false value. If P is true and Q is false, that time you will have a false value for conditional statement. Otherwise, you will have a true value for the rest of the statements. Okay, so this thing you have to remember for conditional statement, that is if P then Q or P implies Q. If P is true and Q is false, that time only you will have a false. Otherwise, you will get the true value. Called what? Hypothesis student. And Q is called as conclusion. Why I'm saying this? Because this hypothesis and conclusion, you will have these terms whenever we will solve the further problems. Okay, so you need to remember P is a hypothesis here and Q is a conclusion. Okay, now there is a one term, okay, another term, that is P to the Q can be written as negation P or Q. Okay, so whatever the values you are getting, truth values you are getting for the P to the Q, the same value you will be getting for negation P or Q. Let us check out that. Okay, so this is the last truth table we'll take and then we will stop, student, because it's 10:30 right now. So what I'm saying is P to the Q can be written in an equivalent form as negation P or Q. Just check it out. P, Q, true, true, false, false, right? True, false, true, false. Now negation P. Okay. Negation P would be false, false, true, true. Okay. And negation P or Q would be, see this, negation P or Q. False, true, true. False, false, false. True, true, true. True, false, true. Now, if you observe the truth value of negation P or Q, okay, whether it is same as P to the Q, student, what is the P to the Q value we are getting? True, false, true, true. Okay, for only true, false, I'm getting false. Rest of the thing I'm getting true. So P to the Q is equivalent, or you can say that P to the Q you can written in an equivalent form as negation P or Q. I hope you have understood it, student. Yes, say something. Have you understood it?
Yes, ma'am.
Conditional statement. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so tomorrow we'll continue. Next lecture we'll continue with biconditional statement and we'll solve the problem based on the propositions. Okay, so please write down whatever I'm writing over here in your notebook, because whenever you will solve the problem, you will need the reference. Okay, student. Thank you. Thank you all. Take care. Bye bye.